once again, this time, my friends, for another meet and greet. We're Southern Fried and nationwide, so hang on to your seat. Look around, here's what I found. I guess you'll never know what you'll see on the Southern Fried Podcast Show. Yeehaw!
Good morning, Southern Fried Podcast fans and all of our folks out there in Cornbread Nation. We love us some breadheads. Good Monday morning. I'm Rob. That's Dave. Gotta make sure I'm pointing the right way. How's Dave doing this morning?
I'm all right. Just working some issues. There's no Instagram this morning. I can't get it pulled up on the computer side, so no Instagram. So I'm just working on stuff. I may pop out for a second. I'm still trying to work on that.
Okay. Well, I hope all y'all had a great weekend. Your weekend go good?
Wasn't bad. Wasn't bad. A good day at church and did some work, did a little podcasting. So yeah, pretty good. Not
All
bad.
right. What we were talking about the other day with somebody's photo bombing you. No. What did we ever hear back on the emails that you were talking about? Did we hear anything?
There's nothing to hear back from until once everybody has or has not responded. I don't even know if they don't even know if they'll get a response. So we don't know anything else. All I know is they're going to fill out their, both of them are going to both fill out their request for productivity for the previous week, and they're both scared to death. That's kind of where we're at. There's no more information. I'll be completely honest with you. I'm fully supportive of the president. So is my family. But I will, and because I do know that this is affecting people, and as I sit and reflected on this, I think it's one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen in my life. And a lot of agencies have told their employees not to fill it out, and that it may be a violation even of their work agreement to even fill that out because they don't work for Elon Musk. And I'm not sure about this, the speed of it, and to tell people if you don't fill this little sheet out, can you imagine you work for a company and all of a sudden somebody, even though that is a federal job, but your boss is who you report to, and you're being sent something that didn't come from your department, that you have to fill out a productivity report, and if you don't, if it's not filled out, then you're just terminated. I mean, I don't understand that. So I can understand the fear that is going on through these folks. I think all of us want to see waste in the government be done away with. The downsizing of the government is too big, but you don't treat employees like that, and you don't treat humans like that. And I just think this is a misstep. And unfortunately, a lot of people in America are in a fever pitch right now to follow along with this, and they completely support it. I'm a little frustrated with this one. Let's take time to review those institutions. We're talking about people that are connected to the military and the VA. We're not talking about some little made up government office where they're testing suntan lotion on rats or something like that. This is something completely different. That's my feeling on it. Is I am interested in hearing more. I've been covering it all weekend, and I don't know, but I can say this, that if people that I know, that I love, and I care about are released from their job, but whether they fill that out or not in that frame and that format, I think that's wrong. You certainly have a right to downsize. You certainly have a right to realign your workforce, but you don't have a right to treat human beings like that. And I'll just go on record. I think it's wrong. Uh, I mean, the productivity report, and then even Elon said the bar is set low. All they have to put on there is if 4 or 5 lines, and failure to do so would mean they don't have a job. Well, what if they didn't get the email? What if the email got lost? No, we didn't get your email back. I don't know about this. An email? Really? I don't agree with it.
Hmm. Well, if they're just looking for a reply, that could be one thing. I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with treating people. I don't agree with treating people badly, period. But there's, I kind of get the feeling there's so much waste and abuse out there that they've got to do something. They've got to start somewhere. But at the same point in time, you don't want to see people that go in and do their jobs and work hard and try to do a good job. You don't want to see them lose their jobs over some silly email.
Well, I can tell you that physicians that are working within the government, that are working at various levels of VA hospitals and stuff like that, said among my 15 to 17-hour days, I'm not responding to an email and take myself away from patient care to fill that out. They're frustrated. They're upset. Uh, they don't like they don't really, they're really questioning this authority of this, uh, you know, Doge. And I get it. There's a lot of, I mean, something that people have served at for a long time. Uh, again, I've seen people make comments that we could take out 80% of the workforce of the federal government and we wouldn't even notice a difference. And they're using Twitter as their, which is now X, as their guideline on that, because that's the number he took out in Twitter and was still able to operate the company. That is two totally different things. And, if we're talking about 80,000 IRS agents that was hired to go be jackboots and busting on people and, scare them, I was completely for that. I'm not for people that are, you know, uh, these are people that are at call centers. My sister is working benefits for veterans that are getting help. And it's not an easy job. There are many veterans that just they're older, they're humans, and they're abusive, and she has to endure that sometimes. But she treats them all with the same respect and care. I know the dedication, and again, I know these people. I know the dedication. I know their work ethic. I know the love they have for the nation. And again, if you're going to release people, if you're going to downsize your workforce, fine. But I don't agree with the methodology of using an email that is titled productivity report or something like that on what you did last week. And after all, if someone laid up in their mother's basement and was not doing anything but eating bonbons and sleeping, do they really think they're going to put that in the email back? This is what I did. I stayed in my pajamas. I ate bonbons. I played with my dog, and went to bed and did it all over again the next. Do you really think that they're going to put that down? I don't get that. I just don't get that. It seems kiddish, very childish to me. I'm just being honest. That's how I feel. I want to hear more. I want to hear more. And I don't know. I mean, if you're going to release them, why even do the email? Seriously. Why would you even do an email? Why would you just say, we're slashing this much out of your department, and you leaders of your department, you figure out, because that's what happens. Companies say, we're downsizing your department. You must. This happens. You must. We're going to take, if you're a department of, say, 20, and we're going to take away 10 of those people, and you figure out as a department head how you're going to get the same amount of work done with the 10, because they ain't going to say less work. You got to get that done with what you have. So you realign, people take on extra duties. You cut out some services that you may have provided. You just can't do anymore. That happens. It happens in industry. It happens in all kinds of places. Budget cuts happen. Job realignment happens. But I've never heard of anything like this in that. No employee has ever at work said, come up and fill out a productivity report on what you did last week, and that will decide if you don't fill it out, you don't have a job. Now, I've had to reapply for the same job I did before. Once they brought in new people, and they said, we're going to, my boss said, are you going to apply for your job? I said, what do you mean? I've been doing my same job for 10 years. He said, well, you better apply for your job again or you won't have a job. I didn't realize that they had went in and what they did is they changed the work code for my job. And I did. They wasn't going to interview, but they said, you have to go in. It's out there. You reapply for your job and you get your job. So I've done that and I get that. But I've never heard of a productivity report being sent out, uh, and and that being the methodology they use to decide whether you have a job or not. What if somebody was on vacation and they were out of the country? There's so many things I could think about. What if they were a sick employee? What if they were giving birth? Or is that really the methodology we're going to use? I know people are not going to agree with me because there's a fever pitch right now to support everything that Doge is doing. But I will say it, and I'll just say it for me. I'm not even saying it for the podcast. I'm saying for David Cordell. I'm putting my name on it today. I think this is stupid. And it absolutely doesn't make sense to me why you would say that on the heels of bringing a chainsaw on the stage at CPAC. And that is obviously what they were referencing there is we're cutting. Okay, I get it. We're downsizing the government. I'm for it. And in some cases, whole departments may need to be cut out. I'm for that. But again, you don't treat human beings this way. And as a Christian, I cannot align myself with that. And uh, I'm not going to dance on somebody's grave, much less am I going to dance on somebody losing their job. Even if we let them go, I'm not going to celebrate people losing their job. But I'm going to say as the government's getting more efficient, that's good. But a job's a job. Paying a mortgage, your mortgage still comes due. Groceries still have to be bought. Kids still have, need shoes and insurance and stuff like that. So it's a huge impact on a lot of people. And so where does the compassion come in? And some agency heads have said this. Can we just show a little more compassion? I don't think that's too much to ask. And I just think this could get really ugly.
I'm gonna flip this around for just a second. You and I have worked at some of the same places, and we had to do production reports at the end of each shift. We had to put down how much we got done at the end of every shift, and we had to turn that paperwork in every day. And they're asking for it one time. Okay, they're asking for it via email. I'm sure there's going to be exceptions if someone is sick or someone didn't get it or someone is giving birth. I don't know what all the ins and outs of it are, but if there are exceptions, there's going to be exceptions, I'm sure. But 3 or 4 lines saying, "Hey, I did so and so this week. This is what I did my job." I don't think that's too much. And it's compassion wise. Why can't they be more compassionate? If we didn't make our production totals, unless we had a good reason, we got fired. They let us go. And there wasn't no compassion about it. If you didn't make it, you couldn't hack it, you were gone.
No one was ever fired on one day of not getting their production.
No, no. But if it was a consistent thing, you were.
He said for last week, what did you accomplish? The bar was set low, as he said. He said just put 4 or 5 things down. And he didn't say there would be any exceptions. He said failure to return the email would be basically basically you just forfeited your job. You don't have a job. He didn't say that. He didn't say we'll give you 2 weeks to turn it in, or we'll wait till you get back, from, you know, having surgery or nothing. Maybe there will be, but he didn't say that. I'm sorry, I'm just not going to agree on that. And this is not just about. And by the way, this is not the employee is not the one who makes the decision about this. You may have had paperwork to turn in, sure, but it is the leaders, management, is the leaders of the departments and the leaders of those areas who will answer for that. What did my people do? You have a boss. Everybody has a boss.
Yeah.
They don't report straight up to the president or whoever. They report up through channels, and those people have to answer for what their department has done. If anything, sometimes they would go before people would go that work the machines. Then again, they would be a write up if you didn't accomplish something. Uh, so yeah, consistent basis, I get it. But where would be the level of progression of discipline for not meeting production quotas? Where's that at?
Is it already in place? Is there already one in place? I mean, we don't know.
It's called an email that said you fill it out or else.
Mm, I don't know. That's going to be a
I'm not trying to convince you. I'm just saying this
no.
is where I feel,
Yeah.
and I'm not changing my mind on it. I just think that this is not the way to go. The speed of which it is occurring. And the president has said to Elon, be more aggressive. What does aggressive mean? Does that mean speed up, expand the scope? He just said, yes, sir. These are things they've put openly out there for everybody to see. I like what Elon's doing and Doge. Be more aggressive. Yes, sir. So what does that mean today? I don't know if it means anything. Maybe this will be a nothing burger, but I can tell you that I know what it's meant to people. Um, you know, what's going to happen for them this week. They're worried if they're going to have a job. And what does that mean for them to continue to have employment if they do? You know, again, I'm all for downsizing, but it's how we treat people. So,
Okay.
amen, Steve.
I'm going to throw yet another thought on that. You know, I know that there are people out there that work hard and do their jobs. I know that and do the best that they can. Okay. And seen it, and I've seen it here on the show, and the folks that some of the folks that it's directly impacting, which is family to you, and it's I know they work hard. I know they do a hard job. At the same point in time, when we were working at the same place, uh, when I was working on my job, how much did I get done versus what other people got done? I mean, I did over and beyond almost every day, unless I had something that kept me from doing it. And how many people just came through and did the absolute bare minimum, just the least amount they could possibly do? Who do you want to keep? Who do you want to go? Someone sends an email. Well, I did the bare minimum. I got what y'all told me to do, or what y'all expected. Here you go. And then you have someone, that comes in and does more. And I don't know why these people are the ones filling out their own emails anyway. It should be coming from their boss. I do agree with you on that. The bosses should have these numbers. The bosses should know, or the department head should know what they have as far as employees go. It should be the bosses doing this, not the employees. But
I'll be honest with you. I don't think they give a rat's a what is filled out on that paper. I think it's just a way to say, well, we sent something out. You don't fill it out, you don't have a job, you're done. So that's the first level of strike. We're going to get rid of all those folks, and then we'll deal with the rest in another matter. Um, wow, is that really the standard? It just amazes me.
you know, we'll see how it all fares out here.
I mean,
I would.
again, who makes a decision on? Is that boss even going to have that decision to make? Well, these are my five best workers. These are the ones that, no matter level of seniority, they've done the best work. They're the ones I can count on. They go above and beyond. Or are they going to be told you're going to reduce these employees are gone? They don't even get a chance. I don't know, but it seems like to me they're coming in. I mean, it's like this outside entity is rolling in, and they've been given the power to say these people are gone, and
Yeah,
who knows if even the boss may be gone. I don't know. I don't know.
well, I guess we'll find out in the coming days. I mean, that it's not something that's going to be secret, and we'll see what happens. Uh, I mean, we can assume the worst or hope for the best, and usually with the government, when you assume the worst, you're pretty close. So, but we'll see. I'm curious as to which way this is going to go and how it's going to go. Uh, you know,
I
that's
mean, I'll just put it one other way. When I was down there in South Georgia with you had somebody that called you that did a jam up job for you. They did a great job. And you said as much. They really did me a solid. They were amazing. They helped me in ways that they didn't require me to do some things that it'd have been hard for you to do. They took care of you. Their
right.
customer service was outstanding, correct? They
Hmm.
were kind, they were helpful, they were on point. I mean, I remember you getting off the phone and saying, wow, that was awesome. That guy's amazing.
Yeah,
Well, that's a government worker. But there are people out there that think that nobody in the government's doing a good job, that everybody's just, laying around and being lazy and doing nothing. That's not the case. They are those people. Let's deal with them. Let's downsize departments if you don't need that many. But there are people that are they're working hard every day in their jobs to help veterans, to help people who have, tax questions or whatever. Uh,
Mhm.
I know we don't like the IRS, but if you need help, somebody's got to help you there. Somebody has to give you the answers that you're looking for. And, those people live under threat um, a lot of times, just the pencil pushers, the ones who are working like that. There's a local IRS office here in Chattanooga, and there's been bricks thrown through the door, and they've had to provide extra security before because people get angry and they don't like, what those people represent. But at the end of the day, they're human beings who are doing a job. We may not like the government and how it operates, but there are people that's just doing a job. They've been. I've looked at federal jobs because of my position in safety. There was a time where I actually spoke with an area director. I was looking maybe going to a potential OSHA inspector's job, and was looking at what opportunities were there. And because I wanted to make a difference, and OSHA has made a difference in the safety and security of American workers. So I was thinking, I thought about now. I'm so glad I did. I'm glad I didn't go down that road. Uh, and there's not enough to even cover this the state. They just do spot inspections or complaints. But again, I'm just glad I didn't go that way and become a worker that way. So anyway, that's where I'm at this morning. If you're asking my feelings about it, that's how I feel about it. Is I've read more about it. I've went out and read. I've read the statements. I'm looking at both sides of this. I'm looking at every side of it. And as I think about that, as someone who is a manager, I could not imagine my employees being sent something like this.
Well,
I would be upset.
I need to clarify on that a while ago when you were talking about the guy that did me a solid and did a really good job. Yeah, that was a government worker. That was a government employee. But how many times have I just been completely blown off in the past by government employees when I'm calling trying to get this stuff worked out? People that don't give a rat's butt about what kind of job they do. That guy cared. That guy took care of me. Did his job. He was great. But that doesn't make up for the 5 or 6 times before when I called that I was completely and totally either A, rude to, or B, completely blown off, or C, they didn't give a rat's butt. Those people don't need to be there.
But
You'll
what's
never
the?
convince me otherwise. If somebody wants to
Well,
go and do their job
I would
and
never
take
say
care
that.
of the people and do what they're supposed to do, that's one thing. But if you won't do that, you don't need to be there, whether you're in the VA or whatever, especially if you're in the VA or you're dealing with disabilities, people with disabilities and stuff like that. And at times, those people don't have full cognitive functions at times, and you treat them like that, you don't got no business in there. And you can't, I know you don't think they do either if
But
they're going to be like that.
that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about people that have to turn an email in, a
I
productivity report
guarantee
by
you,
email, and
I,
if for some reason that email didn't make it back to this entity, they're saying you don't have a job. So that email is not going to say whether they were a good worker or a bad worker. Again, a bad worker is not going to put down that I was rude to 5 veterans today or last week. I goofed off half the time. I stayed in the bathroom. I smoked pot and drank some brews all afternoon. They're not going to put that down. They're just going to turn an email in. That's not going to decide if they were a good worker or a bad worker. It's just a thing that you're saying what you did. They're going to lie about it. Self-preservation.
yeah. Okay, so let's just keep them all. Let's keep the rude ones. Let's not start anywhere. Let's just keep them all. Let's keep the good and the bad. And if you get a bad one, you just get a bad one. Deal with it. I don't agree with that either. I mean, there's got to be somewhere
I
between
don't
these
either.
2 points, between point A and point B. Let me see if I can get my hands right. Between these 2 points where it'll be acceptable to all. And there needs to be something in the middle we're going all one way or all the other way, and we need to hit somewhere in the middle. I
I
think
think
would be
that's what
best.
I was saying. I think that's where you talk about treating people with respect. And if you're going to let someone go, you still show that respect. You don't treat people horrible because you're releasing them. I've known people that had to release people they worked for, and they walked them to their car and they were in tears that they had to let them go. They wished it had worked out different because it is very hard to fire someone. It's hard to take their livelihood away because behind that person, no matter how good or how bad they are, you have a family, you have children involved, and a person who is really concerned, who really cares, they think about that. If they're a SOB, they don't care. They'll fire them all day long. But a person who really cares thinks about it in those terms. And I have watched people really struggle with that. I've seen people that couldn't even terminate. Their boss had to come in and do it. It was just too nerve-wracking for them to do it. It is a very hard thing to take that away. And sometimes it may take a certain kind of individual to do that. Some people just can't handle that part of it. But again, this is not based on any kind of idea of how good or how bad a worker they were or are. This is simply downsizing. And the first level of downsizing is going to occur on whether an email was returned or not, according to their own words. And that's all we have to go by this morning. They have till 11:59 Eastern Standard Time today to return that. And if they don't, Elon says they're done. So I hope they have good Wi-Fi. I hope there's no computer problems.
Now, when did he send out this request? It was last week, wasn't it?
No, it was over the weekend,
Over the weekend?
Friday night or Saturday. I think it was Friday evening or Saturday morning one. Friday. Well, I guess I know by Saturday my sister had heard about it. I hadn't heard about it. I went online and looked for the news article and found it. There's not a lot there. They talked about it a little bit. He is catching a lot of heat from this. And he just clarified, that's when he said, to clarify, the bar is set really low. All they have to do is put down 4 or 5 bullet points, and that'll take care of them for now. Wow.
I mean, that's about. I mean, I don't know what else to. If they can get, I'll tell you, there's some knuckleheads out there that they need to get rid of. They don't need to get rid of the good ones. There's few enough of them, but they need to go about it such a way where they keep the good ones, get rid of the knuckleheads. That's my personal opinion, but I just you got to start somewhere, and they ought to start between those 2 points somewhere. You can't get rid of all of them, and there's no way unless you go through the supervisors. You have no way, no clue as to what they're doing, what they're not doing.
Well, I'll say it this way, and this is for me. I am speaking for myself as a voter, as a person who has supported uh, all that MAGA is doing, but I'm still going to watch from the sidelines because I'm on the sidelines of this. I'm not a federal employee. Um, as I see how they treat people that I care about, it's gonna affect how I feel about this. And because I know these people and many more like them, and I know their dedication to not only the country, to be a voter, to be involved as a citizen, to be patriotic, to be um, have passion for what they do in their job. I'm watching it, and if they're done wrong, it's going to directly affect how I feel about what goes on next, and that's just the way it is.
You know,
And I'll
you
reevaluate after I see how this happens.
there's Spartan Sardaukar. The American worker has been forced to compete for his job globally. Trump and Elon both support importing people en masse from India. They're all frauds. I despise them all. Yeah, I think the first time I call the IRS or SSI or whatever, and I get somebody on there going, "Hello, hello, can I help you?" I don't want that. I want somebody that can understand what the heck I'm saying in American.
Absolutely.
Someone that can speak English. Don't have to be American, just someone that can speak English and speak it well enough to where I ain't got to constantly repeat what I'm saying or
Now,
get them to.
the first level of this that I thought when they offered buyouts, you have a problem with that because you're saying, I'm going to cut, here's a buyout, you can take it. There were thousands upon thousands that took
Mhm.
that offer because that gave them a cushion. They got a buyout, gave them some money, and then they could go look for other employment. I don't have a problem with that at all because you're giving people notice, you're giving them some support along the way. I just don't like the way this was rolled out. It could have been done much better, a little more clarification. And if I would hope that they don't do it like this. But I can tell you, if they do a mass firing off of an email and they're up on stage high fiving and celebrating that, I won't support that. I will not. That's me.
Okay.
That's David. I'm speaking for me. For me, I
Okay.
won't be supporting that.
Well, I wouldn't be supportive of it doing it that way, but hopefully they're going to meet somewhere in the middle. Hopefully that's what's going to happen. I hope so. Uh,
Well,
although, and then, uh, you know, go ahead.
no, I'm just saying that it didn't have to happen this way. They didn't have to put um, they didn't have to put these people through this like this. And my sister is a complete meltdown and has been for 3 weeks. I didn't know that it had been this bad for them. She has kept it away from me. She's called my sister and she apologized for dumping it in my lap. And I told her not to apologize over the weekend. And I just was asking questions to see how things were going. And I didn't realize that. I didn't even realize they had gotten that. And I feel bad for them. I feel bad for them. And wow, I just hope that, I hope it's not as bad as what it's sounding. I just think it could have been handled in a different way. But I can tell you there's a lot of people out there in the country. They're fully supportive of this, and they don't care. And I've read a lot of comments all weekend long of people that are absolutely on board with how they're doing it, and they don't care, and they're celebrating it, and it's a fever pitch right now. But all I'm saying is check up and realize these are human beings. These are people that have served the nation. Some may have done it poorly. Some may have done it wonderfully. I don't know I'm not their boss. I'm not in those departments. I don't know what they've done or haven't done. But I'm just going to choose to, well, first of all, I'm going to live my life as a Christian and have compassion anyway. So, uh, uh, you know, I I don't think anybody would care if someone who hates the country, who's been just sitting at home collecting big checks, and I don't think nobody's celebrating, or crying tears over that person losing their job. But we're talking about hundreds of thousands of workers, and it just can't all be bad. It just can't. And in this case, I know of two who are not. They're not bad. And so that's my touch point. That's where I see how I'm going to see how they're treated. And there's concern when, you know, and I know he's probably trying to shield his wife because he's that kind of guy from some of the worst. But she's tore up. She's upset. And I understand it. So we'll see. Good morning, Miss Jeneth. Good morning, Miss Elizabeth. Good morning, Jake.
We're glad y'all are up with us this morning. Glad everybody else is in here with us. Yeah, we've got what do you think about Dan Bongino, Deputy Director of the FBI?
Well, I was on a radio show last night, through the internet, and I was on one this morning early. Completely supportive of it. I'm glad of it. I just hate that we're losing a conservative voice on the airwaves. He has to give up his career for serving in a higher capacity to his country. And it is Dan Bongino represents the American dream. He has served it. He has served his country before. He is serving it again, and I think it's a great move. and I'm applauded. I'm happy for it. I read the comments the president had to say. I've read the comments that Dan Bongino had to say. And so good move, Kash Patel, Pam Bondian, President Trump, although I guess it was Patel's his hire. But I'm certain he would have talked about that on up the line a little bit. But I, I I love that news. It's just tempered, you know. I love the news of that.
Yes. So, well, a lot of interesting stuff going on right now between, we're almost done with the getting those cabinet confirmed, aren't we? We don't like much. Has
I
anyone
think
not been confirmed?
I think it's pretty much in place.
Did anyone not get confirmed?
No, everybody got confirmed.
Wow. I don't think that's happened many times. Hmm. So,
I just think that one of the last things I'll say on this, and again, I don't anticipate it's going to be popular. That's okay. I've never ran with the popular crowd or tried to be with the popular voice. This is my heart this morning. And when the president said um, to Elon to be more aggressive, and his quote, "We have a country to save," uh, we do. But what it sounded like to me was put the pedal to the metal, and it's just going to be a road grader. And I don't have confidence as I sit here right now off these statements that there's going to be any kind of consideration. I don't think there's going to. I just think they're going to come through, and it's going to be, it's going to be like the death angel with a giant sickle that just mows through these departments. I don't think there's going to be any time for consideration over who's a good or bad worker. They're just going to slash departments. That's what it sounds like to me, and that's frustrating. I hope that's not the way it is, but the imagery of it is that's what I'm hearing, and that's what it seems like. So, again, speed is of the essence right now. This is from them, and they're moving at breakneck speed, and that doesn't allow time uh, for it to be considered what kind of productive employee they've been, unless something else changes. And I'm hopeful that just by the pure draw of the number, there's going to be so many percentage that are kept. And I just hope and pray that my family is in that percentage, or it's going to be complete hell for them for a little bit. And I don't like that. I hope I'm wrong, but their gut tells them it's not good. And usually your gut is right. Usually you feel what's happening, and this is what I'm feeling off of them is that there's deep concern. And I've never, in the years that I have known Frank, I have never seen this level of concern. So anyway, we'll see.
right. But we don't have, they didn't say that, okay, well, we're just going to slash everything and it doesn't matter what y'all send back. They didn't say, you know, they didn't say they wouldn't do stuff. They didn't say that they would do stuff. They just asked for a productivity report.
And if it
How
wasn't turned
what
in,
it's done.
you do not have a job. But you have department leaders that are telling their employees not to fill it out. At three major departments, they've been told their workers don't fill it out. So
Well, why
what do you do as a worker? Your boss, who you work for, told you not to fill it out.
am I filling it out?
And then come Monday, what does that mean, you have a job or not? What if you lose your job still? Because your boss said don't fill it out. We're not complying. See, there's a lot going on here. I'm just anxious to see what's going to happen in the early part of the week as we get into the day and see what happens. They have till 12 o'clock or 11:59. So we'll see. I don't know. I don't know, but it's sit on a Friday. I mean, really, like I said, let's go camping for the weekends, kids. Yay! I mean, he's checking their email on the weekend. They're out kayaking down the river.
Yeah. Well,
You
I
go in
mean,
on Monday morning, you get hit with this, and your boss says, "Well, don't fill it out." You say, "What says if I don't fill it out, I don't have a job?" Well, don't fill it out. We're not going to comply. We're not doing that. This agency doesn't have the right to say that to our employees. We're telling you not to do it. Others have said do it, but others have said, "I've got your back. I'll take care of you." Well, really, what if you don't have a job?
yeah.
It's fear. There's a lot of fear right now. A lot of fear.
Well, I mean, yeah,
Spartan, I would too. You dang Skippy, I would ask for that in writing
on an email.
on an email.
That's
Dang Skippy.
right.
It's just weird. It's a weird directive. Very weird.
Well, it's a lot of stuff going on, but they've got to do something. I mean, I guarantee you, from my normal experience dealing with government people on the phone, it's horrible. It is horrible. Occasionally, you get a good one. And when you get a good one, you better latch onto them and get everything done then that you possibly can. Okay. It's in my personal opinion. Now, I know that we've had Heather on the show, we've had Frank on the show. I've got to talk to them, I've got to meet them. They're great folks. And you could tell that they're competent and they care about what they do. It kind of oozes out of them. I mean, you can't hide that. If someone truly is passionate and they care about what they do, these people that don't care, I do want them gone. I've dealt with them long enough, and I really the lack of compassion and understanding that they've shown me on a fairly consistent basis. I mean, you do have exceptions to the rule. They've shown me no compassion. They've shown me no care. And I know as Christians, we're supposed to be better than they are. But it's hard for me to care about the people that are like that in that situation when they have put me in that very same situation before. And I don't know which ones they are. I don't. I wouldn't want to know. But there's some of us people out here that's been treated like something you'd find in a dog park that hadn't been cleaned up after. Those of us have been treated like that. We don't appreciate it. And that's part of the reason, that may be part of the reason why everybody's getting behind the whole Doge thing. The government has screwed up a lot of us over for a long time, be they veterans, be they disabled, be they getting on Social Security, whatever reason, or needing help. And oh no, we can't let you do it because you're the wrong color or you're the wrong sex. No compassion about it. All of this stuff needs to be changed. We need to get to a level playing field. And I'm not saying that this is the right way to do it, but I am saying there needs to be change. And do I agree with everything they're doing? No, I don't agree with something like this. At its core, I don't agree with it. There's, like you said, there's too much stuff that can go wrong. At the same point in time, you got to start somewhere. There's somewhere, like I said, in between, in the middle, that we need to hit on. But and if the supervisors are anything representative of the people that you have to deal with on a daily basis, for the most part, they're going to half-ass do their job anyway. They're going to get their buddies in there, no matter what kind of job they do. I'm telling you, there's I don't know, you know, hmm, yeah, you know, there's a lot of anger. That's the one of the main reasons why everybody's getting behind Doge. a lot of people are getting behind those because there's a lot of anger, and a lot of it's underlying, but there's a lot of anger out there at the way these systems are being run. And I can't wait until they get hold of the Social Security Administration and the people that are in charge of the figuring out the disability and stuff. I can't wait till they get there. As I've dealt with enough of them, period. They don't care nothing. You can't get a straight answer. You get somebody up there that's just, well, that's just the way it is. Get over it. The average wait time now for disability, I forget how long that is, before their first response is hundreds and hundreds of days. I mean, like a year or two before you're even going to get a response the first time. And they're going to deny it no matter what. How many people do you know can go 2 years without a job and survive? You can't tell me that system ain't broken. It's broken. And there's a lot of anger. And right now, as long as that anger's out there, until they do something to try to fix these issues, I'm not saying this is the way to go or the right way, but with this underlying anger out there, you're going to have this. They're going to be behind those 100%. Hey, they've been sticking it to me for years. Stick it back to them. They ain't making they're not breaking it down by the person. They're breaking it down to how they've been treated by the system. And everybody that works for that system, for them, is the system. I can see where the anger is coming from. I've experienced it. Is it right? No. Are we supposed to be better than that? Yes. But we're still people. We're still human beings. And, in the same token, there's good people in there too. And I don't want them gone. Because if you're lucky enough to find a good person, it's like, hey, come here. Oh, finally. Hey, let me tell you what I got. And you get everything you can then, because the next time you call, you're not getting them. And I don't want to see nothing bad happen to good people. I agree with you on that. I agree with the core of everything you're saying. I'm just showing you the other side. We're angry. I'm angry. 6.5 years I spent. I'm epileptic, dude. Ain't nobody going to hire me. Who's going to take on that liability? All right. I can't even drive to a job. Okay. I can't. 6.5 years I spent fighting. And then there's anger. I'm just saying. I mean, I'm showing you another side of this page, and it's, I think the world of Heather and Frank. I don't want to see nothing bad happen to them, and I know they work. I know they work their butts off, and they care about what they're doing, and I don't want to see anything bad. I wouldn't have that happen for nothing. If other people are out there that do like they do, I don't want to see nothing bad happen to them. But these jacklegs that are out there that don't care, Americans are angry. We're angry. And you've been angry at this too. You've seen this. You're not happy that I spent 6.5 years fighting for something that I shouldn't have had to even fight for.
I'm not on the other side from you, man. I do see all sides of it. I'm not saying I agree with everything. It's just the methodology.
Right. But, the methodology isn't great, but it's hard. For those of us that have been out there on this side, it's hard for us to really care about the methodology at this point. I don't agree with it, but for the most part, they're angry enough to where, and they've been given the shaft long enough to where they don't care. They want it fixed. They don't care how they do it. They want it fixed.
But in that, it's going to road grade some good people.
Yeah.
It's just not the way to do things.
It's not. But And I hate to see that. I don't want to see that. And I don't agree that that's the way. But how do you separate the wheat from the chaff? You
You
know,
don't do it. You don't
that's
do it,
what we need to be doing.
but you don't do it with speed. And the speed of it is what's alarming to me. It doesn't allow time for the evaluation.
But here's another thought to that too. Trump has to move with speed. Notoriously, midterms are bad for sitting presidents. He has to move with speed because he's really only guaranteed about 2 years. It is a heavy morning, Steve. It's rainy down here. I don't know if it's rainy up there with Dave or not, but yeah. Uh, it's
Just where I'm at.
yeah.
I just think it's wrong.
Okay. Um, but you got to separate the wheat from the chaff somewhere. There needs to be a big separation. I don't want to lose the good ones. I don't think we need to lose the good ones. You get the
Yeah.
bad ones out of there.
What if they go through and they sweep that and all that's left is the people you dealt with for 6.5 years? How's that better? Your smaller government, what you got left is crap. That ain't better.
Yeah.
You're gonna get less done. It might take 12 years. I'm just saying.
But
Numbers not going to solve this. Just a number. Well, people keep using this 80-20 deal. I don't think that's the number, but that's what people are using. And they use that based on solely on what he did at Twitter. Well, he got rid of 80% of the workers and they found out he didn't need them. And so they're saying 80% of the government could be fired today and you wouldn't notice any difference. I disagree. 80%? Come on. Oh,
I don't know, dude. I don't know what the answer is going to be. I'm with you on this. I don't really like the email thing. That's kind of tacky. I don't like it. But as a whole, American people are tired. We're sick of this. And
we're all Americans.
yeah,
Federal
and the
employees are still
bureaucracy,
Americans.
yeah, the bureaucracy has gotten so big and so full.
Well, who's to blame for that?
The politicians. I think we need to
Well,
get rid of them too.
then they need to fire themselves. Then
Yes, I
they're the
agree.
They created this mess.
Mm-hmm. Term limits, dude. I'll be back on term limits. I'm fully in favor of term limits.
And so when you look on that one side of Congress and you see the total ineptitude of the effectiveness of those people, the total lunatic, demonic sometimes in some cases, you still got that.
Yeah,
And these are the people that are representing all those people and
I
have
mean,
created this mess.
you got people in government up there that instead of representing their constituents, they let their whole area just turn into a third world country, and then get going. And then everybody sings their praises there at the Congress. Just and the ineptitude of what they're supposed to be doing versus what they are doing, which is nothing, and just letting this stuff grow and grow and grow. There's a line there. You know, but yeah, term limits, dude. Term limits. We've been hollering that for how long now? We need term limits in Congress. We need it.
I'm fully on board with it.
We need that. These people like Bernie Sanders, who've been up there for how long? He spent half of his life looking like the majority of his life looking like one of them Muppets sitting up there in the balcony. You know, this is what we need to do. Then hey, that's ridiculous.
Amen.
Mitch McConnell was another one. He's not seeking reelection. I mean, Elizabeth Warren, Nancy Pelosi, all these, they should have never been there that long.
I agree.
They're the ones that created the problem. Get them out. Elect somebody else. If they had term limits, they'd done been gone. If they'd have had term limits, we wouldn't have known who Nancy Pelosi was or Mitch McConnell.
Well, at least McConnell will be gone.
Yes.
He's not going to run again.
No. Thank goodness. But yeah, you got these people that have been up there in office for so long making all these decisions, and they just keep voting them in. Yeah. I don't know about that one. I don't. Bernie Sanders is not my favorite individual at all.
No.
So, but there's a lot going on right now, and you know, I think a lot of this today is going to be. We'll see, but I don't think it's going to be anything to it. I don't even think they can do it. But you know, the comment that was made a while ago about, you know, if it's the good ones being in there, they're going to be easier to flush because they aren't corrupt, and the corrupt ones are going to be burrowed in the system like ticks. And I do believe that. It does seem like that's the case. They say the cream rises to the top. That's not always the case. The greasy wheel gets the grease, or the squeaky wheel gets the grease, and stuff like that. Yeah, it's kind of heavy this morning. It must be a serious Monday today. You know,
It is. In some cases, the bosses have said they will respond for the employees.
that's what it should be.
I would hope that that's acceptable. What if that's not acceptable to Doge and you lose your job? That's where we're at this morning. That's why I say it's not been handled right. It's not been handled right. The lack of information and the lack of coordination with this, I'm never going to like the way this was handled. They might clean it up today. In fact, I think they're going to have to.
Yeah.
And I think that you're going to see some of that today.
Yeah. Spartan Charter Car, I agree with that statement. And I agree with that statement. And I agree with that statement there, Steve. Second half of Full Metal Jacket. Cheer me up. You know, and you look out there and you see all these politicians that are millionaires and stuff. What the heck? On their salary, they've become a millionaire. Where'd that money come from? Don't. Let's not sugarcoat that. Okay? Let's not. Where'd that money come from? Did it come from their salary? I don't think so. But they never failed to vote themselves a raise till this last time, I don't think. Did they vote themselves a raise in on this last one? They get that through there? The important stuff?
I'm not sure.
I'm just saying. That's the important stuff. They got to take care of themselves. Like those
How about
ticks.
how about they send a productivity report to Congress?
Yeah, they need to. I agree. But you know, that's not people that we can cut because they were elected. We can't cut them. And why people keep electing these morons up there in the office, I don't know. I don't agree with it, but I don't have any control over that because it's, oh, well, we about an hour in,
Nope.
y'all. Go ahead, Dave.
No, I was going to say it's 7 o'clock.
Yeah. We hope y'all have a great Monday. Hope we didn't bring y'all down this morning. We got a lot of stuff on our brains, and their brains are kicking over, and we want y'all to have a great, wonderful day. Get out there and do Redhead Nation things. And hopefully we'll have some more information on all this tonight, and we can touch on it, and hopefully it's not going to be near as bad as what we thought. So, but y'all have a great day. Dave, you have a great day. Run them
I'm going to
youngins
try.
over to school.
I'm going to try.
All right. And let's keep Heather and Frank and everybody else that's going through this in our prayers as we go throughout the day. And, we don't want nothing bad to happen to good people. We never do. So, all right. Y'all have a great, wonderful day. We'll see y'all back here tonight. Salute.
Salute.
Well, once again, it's time, my friends, for another meet and greet. We're Southern Fried and nationwide, so hang on to your seat. Look around, here's what I found. I guess you'll never know what you'll see on the Southern Fried Podcast Show.